and welcome to the Bible Bell podcast.
You need to go back and listen to how you used to do intros. Get off GTA.
Did I do a voice again?
I was just waiting on it. But you laughed.
I laughed because I looked at you.
Right at the point I thought you were going to do the voice. You laughed.
We should just do podcast episodes in GTA voices. So we're here. Another episode. I told you we'd do it again. We did 2 of them. We might have recorded them the same day.
Back to back?
Back to back.
Maybe.
So
I may not have even changed my stance.
I didn't. You still don't have coffee. Your wife's still shooting guns in my backyard. Yeah, we're here for another episode with an actual topic. So, Andrew, how about you just go ahead and lean it on in?
So this is kind of just a funny one, just to kind of get us back into the rhythm of podcasting and not just you rambling.
Yes.
This one is going to be who actually does the most work in a church. And we were kind of going to couple that, or we thought about coupling that with who gets paid the most.
Yeah.
But, I don't actually know who gets paid what.
That's true. And we do have an episode that we talked to one of the guys at our church, and he wanted to kind of be on that discussion of
that topic.
Pay scale inside the church.
Actually, he brought it up. So
yeah, he did bring it up. Maybe he wants a raise. Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
That's exactly it.
We got him, boys.
We figured you out.
Okay, but as the amount of work that people do in the church, because churches are highly volunteer ran.
Yes.
There's heads of different departments.
Well, and if you ask any pastor's going to say they do the most work. And matter of fact, they even get up on stage and they're like, hey, we're not the only ones that should be doing this. Matter of fact, all of you guys should be out there doing it too.
Listen, everybody, act like me. I'm here every week.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm serving every weekend here at this church.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes people, and then there's a lot more on staff than just, 1 or 2 pastors and a secretary.
Right.
And that's kind of where we're going to go at this with. And we're going to use our church as the example. And maybe churches that we've been a part of in the past as well.
This is kind of like a fantasy draft of volunteers inside the church.
Dang.
All right. So starting, we'll go through.
Well, then we don't pick up the pastor first because quarterbacks are never.
Yeah, they're
never first.
Well, you're giving up so much by just picking the pastor. He might get you the most points. But, the value of a couple other extra volunteers in a higher range,
That's right.
You're going to get it.
I just did a draft yesterday, so I'm good. I can talk about this now. I went my 2-2. No, I went 3-2. I went three receivers, 2 running backs.
Okay, so I'm going to go through, our different teams that serve in our church.
Are you talking about it? Okay.
So we have the production team. This is the front of the house engineers, the lighting techs, the live stream team that deals with that, the media techs, the hosts of the live stream, let's see, what else? The prayer team leaders, the producer. We have a producer that makes sure everybody's kind of on the same page, ready for the next video, the stage hands. That's team 1, production. Team 2 is guest services. These are the greeters, the hospitality team, the hosts, the lead ushers. Then we have the Kids That Matter, which is our children's ministry. So again, we got, the check-ins, the coordinators, the orange room helpers, the red rooms. I don't know what a red room is because I don't serve in a kids room.
Just a
the runners, the link help. Okay, yeah, just the different areas, I guess, of kids. So you have kids ministry. Then we have a security team, which is guys making sure no crazies come into our church and making sure that there's no marital issues that are overlapping into the children's ministry, 2 parents trying to pick up the same kids when one shouldn't be, those kind of issues. Then we have, we got the preacher, we got the worship team, the band. We've got anybody else that I'm leaving off?
Yeah, so our church has an outside ministry that we also run.
A what?
The spring team.
Oh, the spring team. So, yeah, we have a team that goes every week to a local women's shelter, and they help do a live service there as well.
And then at our church, We have like 20 sermons before the actual sermon. So
Yeah,
there's all those people. So we
got
have
the
a
holy huddle. We
huddle.
got the non-holy huddles.
We have a person who gives a tithe preach or a tithe message. A person who comes up and randomly gives a message about just what's going on in the church that week or so. For some reason, we have a lot of messages.
The holy huddle idea, one of the ideas is that there is so much going on.
The holy huddle idea was me. That I started
for it.
in guest services
I started
5 years ago.
Oh my God!
I was the only one who was doing it.
It's my favorite
And then
thing.
as soon as I stopped being the director, then they're like, "Hey, let's make this. Everybody has to
it's
come."
your freaking fault. Anyway, the one good thing is that there are other ministries that don't necessarily, as we talk about, like the parts of the body, the hands, the feet, the eyebrows, all those different parts of the body. Sometimes we don't know what's going on over here, but what we're doing maybe in the children's ministry is helping the parents be able to have an environment that they're able to listen to the word, stuff like that. And so
you took this a whole different way than I was planning on it, but this actually works too, because I wasn't going to do this Sunday, because Sunday we know there's 1,000 people working Sundays.
Yeah.
I was going to take this at the Monday through Saturday.
Okay. Well, I mean there is Thursday and Monday night games in the NFL, so we have the Thursday and Monday night ministry as well. So let's just kind of go through the list. Like, if you were to draft a ministry team,
woo,
what would be your first pick out of the ones I just gave you? Guest services.
I think
KTM,
I'm taking
the
guest
band,
services first.
Security.
I'm taking guest services as my top
So you're
pick.
thinking the guest services is your top pick for the most valuable
In the church, yes.
in the church. And what's your reasoning for that?
So they interact with literally everybody that comes through the doors, because you have your greeters who literally put eyes and hands on everybody that walks in the door. And then you have your hosts. So they're the ones who make the first impression on the new guests as they come in. And then they're the ones who hand out the free stuff, and everybody loves free stuff. I mean, that really gets people coming back. I know when Lisa and I were checking out churches, if we didn't get something free, we probably didn't go back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, so give me my coffee cup.
Give me my coffee cup. Give me my $10 Quick Trip card. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have hospitality, so your free food and your free drinks. That's all. I mean,
All right,
literally.
so you're all about the free stuff.
Well, literally, the guest services
Makes sense.
deals with everybody, because elderly people, they don't have children.
It's first impressions.
So they're not going to KTM. A lot of elderly people don't like loud music, so they don't go into the worship encounter during music. So, I mean, that's why guest services definitely has my top pick as the MVP.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. I do see the value there, but since I don't have the number one pick, and probably with my number one pick, I still would have taken the band.
Of course you would,
because I'm
you're
in the
it.
band.
Exactly.
And I'm the most valuable. No, I'm joking. But I will make
But
an
you don't
argument.
affect everybody.
I will make the argument for the band.
Matter of fact, people have left churches because of the band, because of loud music.
But I would say that as far as the amount of the actual service itself, there's basically people stay at churches a lot. I don't know, not me anymore is my attitude, but people visit churches. Their value of the church is based on the preaching or the singing, right? And if you hate the preacher but you like the music, you'll stay. If you hate the music but like the preacher, you'll stay a lot of times. If you hate them both, you're out, kind of thing. And you'll take your friends that you do like there will go with you somewhere else because they probably hate it too. So my thought process is the band a lot of times is the first impression of the actual service because the music starts. And if you have like terrible music, and I say this, I actually don't know if I would make these guys my number one, just in the value of people stay at churches with crappy bands all the time, and sometimes crappy bands are because more people are involved in ministry that wouldn't be able to get involved in ministry at other churches. So hear this with like, what is it?
Grain of salt?
A grain of salt, I guess, like satire,
Some
a little bit.
Prejudice? No.
Yeah, prejudice. But to make an argument for the band, I would say that the people that enjoy music need to have a band that helps get the atmosphere set for the rest of the service. And if you have an organ, piano, or a band that sings off key, the atmosphere set is not exciting at all, usually.
Yeah, you also know what type of preaching it's going to be.
Yeah, you have an expectation, a already preconceived expectation of what the preacher is going to be like based on what this music is like. So that's where I think that the band a lot of times can bring some excitement into a service that helps, make that service more.
But see, your band the band is dependent upon the preaching, so that's why I couldn't take it number one.
Well, the band's not dependent on the preaching.
It really is, because
the preaching doesn't start till the band's done.
It's true. Well, it depends. If you're at our church, I mean, you've probably already heard two
once
sermons.
or twice a week.
You've already heard two sermons before the music starts.
In the history of our church, you've heard two sermons, so therefore it is dependent.
I'm talking about the Holy Huddle.
And
everything else that happens before.
Gotcha. I would say that my personal thought is that there is an atmosphere that builds with a quality band that would help maybe want somebody to come back.
But see, if they don't even feel welcomed, walking into the doors, they're not coming back.
I'm not arguing with you that that's...
I know. I'm just saying well, you're not arguing with me, but I'm arguing with you. Because it can be a great band and great preaching, but if these people don't feel welcomed, they're not coming back. But if they feel super welcomed and loved and, wanted, they're going to come back even with bad music or bad preaching.
That's where I say But
that's why I had the number
part
one
I don't
pick.
agree with is I've stayed at churches because of the relationships I've had with the people over the relationship or over the music or the preaching.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I mean, when you move into more of a house church model anyways, that's even more dependent on your relationships with people over the quality of a program.
Okay, so with my number 2 pick, I'm taking the kids, mainly because it's very very crucial to the growth of the church. The young minds and just the kids in general, because they're going to be the future leaders of the church. And then also, young kids or just kids in general means younger families, more families my age, means more people I can associate with or talk to. So yeah, that's my number 2 pick.
I actually think that's a good pick, and I probably messed myself over by taking the band 2 because of knowing that you don't like music, I wouldn't expect you to pick even band 3. So,
right.
But I also think that you are correct. KTM or Kids Ministry is one of the largest ministries in any church.
Yes.
It requires the most volunteers at one time. You have your all the way from 0 years old to 6th grade. So you have all these individual classes. The more that your big church grows, like one parent comes, they're going to bring 4 kids, so that you're going to have way more need for volunteers and the kids for every family that shows up.
Right.
And so I do think that is highly up there when it comes to the amount of time it takes freaking figuring people's schedules out, who's going to be there this week. Oh, now we have multiple services. Who's going to be at service 1? Who's going to be at service 2? Where things like the band, it's the same with our church. If you're singing in service 1, you're singing in service 2. We don't have time to do multiple practices.
Right.
Probably one of the reasons I don't do kids ministry is because it is also unbearably chaotic.
It is.
So,
it is.
If you're ever thinking of having another child, go serve in your kids' ministry for a little bit. Just make sure.
Just be out of the nursery, because the nursery is not bad.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go to the kids' ministry in the nursery. I want another baby. No. Go to those, 3rd through 5th graders that are honest about everything in life, and they will tell you straight up.
With my 3rd pick, I'm going to reach.
No, I didn't get.
Oh, your 2nd pick?
Okay, I was actually agreeing with your. But I mean, I can't pick them now because you picked them.
True. Okay, so what's your 2nd pick?
So my 2nd pick is going to be the spring team. It's going to be the team that goes outside the church to do ministry. This is a much smaller team, but if the mission of the church is to minister to those outside the walls, then we have to have a team outside the walls.
Right. I get that.
And if our ministry of your church is to get as many people inside those doors on an hour service, then that's your thing. But our church, that's not the thing. So I would say the spring team is a wild card. It's a freaking sleeper pick.
It is.
Because
I like it. I like the pick.
It's probably too early for a sleeper pick.
For me, but I'm reaching here as well, because with my third pick, I'm drafting the security team. This is a little selfish.
Very selfish.
Because I like to be safe, and I can't worship when I'm not safe. It's one reason I don't go into during the music. I don't have a bearing of my surroundings, and so I don't feel comfortable. So, yeah, with my third pick, I'm reaching. I'm picking the sleeper security.
All right, and that's going to leave me with the final pick, I believe. Well, I mean, we haven't even done the preaching. Like, are we going to add the preaching into?
I mean, we can have a separate fantasy draft of preachers.
So that's going to leave me with the Holy Huddle. And I'm going to say I'll take them as my third, kind of because I need to, unless the sermon is its own thing.
You know, I have had players on my fantasy football teams actually get me negative points. So, do you want to take them?
Well, the reasoning is the Holy Huddle is the opportunity to sync up everybody, what everybody's doing, the mission of the day.
Yep, get everybody on the same page.
We do maybe a little extra than what I'm talking about when it comes to our Holy Huddle with an extra devotion and things like that. But just getting everybody on the same page, today's mission, we're all working together. You might be in kids, you might be in guest service. It's like what brings everybody together. What wins championships? A good team. And what do you need for a good team? Holy
Good
Huddle.
offense.
What was the word? Symmetry?
Oh, synergy?
Synergy. That's what it is.
Symmetry.
Symmetry.
Yes, that side of your room looks the same as this side, Dusty.
And your church needs to look the same over here. No.
Yeah.
The synergy that you can bring with a Holy Huddle that, you know, everybody is celebrating every victory in that service.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just a good wake-up as well to get your blood flowing, get you moving, get you excited for the day, because people know when you just roll out of bed and you're miserable.
And, I mean, the Bible talks about us being one in Christ. And what brings the church one? Holy Huddle. As much as I don't usually attend it, I
never attend it.
But
that's why I couldn't pick them.
I attend it because I'm usually sneaking out, and then Rusty's like, "What are you doing? Get in there!" So
you know how many times he's told me to go in there?
I turn back around and go in there like a good child I am. But I believe it is super important, and it's my sleeper pick to win Church 2022.
All right, so we'll give a weekly update with our scores.
We're gonna grade our church on how they did every week.
And with your band, I'm going to go ahead and give you production.
Okay, yeah,
because that's one and the same essentially.
Honestly, I would say the production side of it is more important. If you have a terrible sound person that mixes it terribly, you could be the best singer, but your sound is terrible, and you.
Well, and also if you don't have somebody back here controlling it, the only thing you're going to hear are the drums and the acoustic guitar.
Right, and so really. And I used to always say this when I would do training, the person doing the music slides that change the lyrics, that person is the worship leader. Because the worship leader is going to sing whatever is on that screen.
Yes.
And the people in the congregation are going to sing whatever's on that screen. So if the wrong words are put up, the people in the congregation are going to sing it, and they're going to look at you going, why aren't you singing it correctly?
Yeah.
You know, and so I've always just said, like, you're really the worship leader. And I used to always do it because verse 2s are always like the ones I forget. And so when I'd be training somebody, I would put verse 1 back up because it's the most familiar to the singer for verse 2, just to prove my point that they will sing whatever you put on the screen. And they would always do it. They might catch themselves like, wait, is that right? You know, but they would always start off, or TS would always start off, like he was the one I would always do it too. But that was just to prove a point that you are actually the worship leader. You're the one that's controlling who gets to hear it, how well they get to hear it, and it's actually more important than the band. So I'm glad I get that. Now I feel a little bit more confident in
and
that.
So, also, we didn't necessarily pick pastors or the pastor because they're more of the coach.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they're
And
the
you don't
coach.
pick coaches in fantasy draft.
No, you don't pick the coaches at all. And so they might be like, well, I get to do so much, but, you know.
Yeah.
We're actually judging volunteers here.
Right.
We weren't judging people that are paid
Exactly.
to be there.
That's the next draft.
Paid leaders. Yeah, I think that's the next draft.
So, that concludes the 2021 church volunteer fantasy draft.
Let us know on Facebook or Instagram or whatever what your order of that would be. Because what would be your top 3 picks when it comes to ministry teams in your church?
I pretty much gave them.
I know you did. I'm asking them.
Oh, them.
I'm
Okay.
asking you in the comments. I'm looking at you, but I'm asking the people.
You locked eyes. I'm like, I just gave them. Do we need to do this again?
No. Oh, gosh. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we have lost our cues, guys. We used to have good cues. We'd have good chemistry. We knew what the other was going to do or say, and usually Dusty could stop me before I said something inappropriate. Not anymore, guys. We're starting this is from scratch.
From scratch, and so do whatever you're supposed to do. Comment things and share it, and we'll see you next week.
Take it easy.